So picture this, you just move into a new home and you're super excited. You're like, I am a homeowner now. And then you go to the attic and you find something there underneath all the boxes and the cotton candy looking, and you find this guy. Lucky for me, I met a guy on Craigslist who happened to have this up there in his attic unbeknownst to him since he had just moved in. So what I'm gonna do is see if I can play like a modern device that has an HDMI port and plug it up to this guy. You might have seen some people try and do this on the internet, especially playing like pieces of work like Cuphead through large antique cabinet analog television sets. What makes this guy so desirable is the fact that, well, a lot of these analog TV sets are thick. That's great. Being thick is great, but it makes it really difficult to carry these television sets around. So these smaller, more portable ones are definitely sought after, and they can go on the market for $100 to $200 and maybe even more depending on the condition of it. It seems to work with the bunny ears that it has, but I can only really pick up one channel, and it happens to be like what I'm presuming is one of those religious sermon channels, and it's all in Spanish, so I can't even enjoy it. So what I'm gonna try and do is do a whole signal flow into a modern device. I guess PS3 is modern in comparison to the 80s, and having the VHS player act as like a middleman. Maybe some of you guys already experienced that growing up, where the VHS player kind of had to play middleman between old and new technology due to the fact that it included outputs and inputs for new and old technology. So it's definitely handy to have. I'm definitely gonna wanna watch some tapes on this guy for sure. So I had to get a few things before attempting this whole project, and the first thing that I'm gonna be dealing with is this transformer. These two little shrimp claw prong thingies are gonna go into the TV where the antennas would be plugged into, and then on this end is going to be where the coaxial cable goes into. And that kind of cable, you may be used to it. I mean, if you have a cable box, it goes into cable boxes, so you can, what do you watch cable on? I don't know, Family Feud. After you have the transformer all up in there, you have a coaxial cable, and this is gonna go from that transformer into the VHS player, and from the VHS player it's gonna go through AV, and from AV, which is here, this converter box is gonna convert the signal into an HDMI output. And so once I have HDMI here, perfect, I can plug in my PS3 for good old-fashioned 2009 memes. I can also plug in a Switch. I can plug in a PS4 Pro. I can plug in a PS5 in 2032. So I'm gonna stop filming in this position and I'm gonna start filming this position. So excuse how dirty this television set is. I need to get the right cleaning solution or devices so I don't, because you see the vents here, I don't want to spray anything. I just want to be careful. It's a miracle that this thing, it works mostly, so we're gonna see if it works entirely. So as you can see here, this is the antenna, and what I'm doing is essentially eradicating this part through here. And as you can see, these match and look a hell of a lot nicer. So what I'm gonna do, I already unscrewed the screws here that keep it down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this back. So I'm just gonna keep that out of the way. So it's gonna look like this. So when you take a look at these coaxial cables, there's this tiny pin in there, and it's gonna go straight into this tiny hole. We have made contact, which is super exciting. This is actually starting to look like a thing, and I definitely thought that I wouldn't be able to do it successfully. Now we're going to use the other end of the cable, the coaxial cable. It's gonna go into the VHS player. So here's the back of one of my VHS players. And what we're looking for is out to TV. Now we're going through the VHS player. What I'm gonna be using is AV, which is right here already plugged in. So I'm gonna plug in the AV into the converter box. So now everything is plugged into the converter box. We have the AV coming from the VHS player and the HDMI going into this PS3. Okay, I'm so scared it's gonna blow up. Shit. Okay, so after calling my mom and us doing some investigative work because she's basically my partner in crime with these things. So I went from UHF to VHF. I wanted to see if switching it would work at all. I also changed it to channel 3 and I unplugged the AV ports from the HDMI converter box just to see if I could play tapes. So now when you turn it on.
Hey there demons, it's me, your boy.
He hung up.
You don't know where he is, you don't know where he is, you're the FBI and you don't know.
Ooh, Mel Gibson, boo. I am so, I'm gonna turn this on. I am so, you have no idea how relieved I am. You have no idea. The picture's a little funny. I think I need to adjust the colors a bit, but the fact that I'm seeing anything at all is a miracle. I screamed when it happened. I'll do a reenactment. Oh well, I wonder if it's gonna work. So now, coming from VHS, this is the Scream VHS we just watched for Halloween with some insane trailers happening right now. Oh my God. I'm gonna actually try to see if it'll respond to the converter box, because if it doesn't, then I'll know that what's broken is the converter box and not anything else that's working right now. Plugged in, but it's still playing the video cassette. It might be the converter box that's the problem. But honestly, at this point, I don't really care. I'm just happy that I have picture at all. I'm gonna take what I can get. You have no idea how happy I am that this TV finally works. It's insane that I managed to figure this out. Yeah, we didn't necessarily get the PS3 to plug in because I feel like the converter box I bought off Amazon maybe just doesn't work. I've been working on this for like 3 to 4 hours, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna stick with the VHS player, and I have a lot of tapes that I can play in circulation anyways, so I really don't mind. I love this too because the format works really nicely with the TV. It's kind of nice to have that full screen because when you do have widescreen picture, it's gonna have those bars and it doesn't look as natural to the environment of this old of a TV. The full frame ratio, it looks so good. It looks so authentic, and I'm just so excited. I've never really had a turn dial television set. I've never really had to deal with any sort of antennas. So this is just really cool, and I'm really stoked that it worked out. So I can finally give this baby TV, this cutie pie, a brand new life in my home. It is just the best feeling ever. No, I'm not a hoarder, but yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. What should I name my TV? Should I name my TV something? I don't know. I feel like it's just the loveliest addition to my life. So Stay safe. Bye.
Warm-up question.
Don't do this, I can't.
Name the killer in Halloween.
No.
Come on, it's your favorite scary movie, remember? He had a white mask, he stalked the babysitters.
No.
Come on, yes you
No.
do.
Please.
What's his name? Save's counting on you.
Michael. Michael.
Yes! Very good.